Hello and welcome to Lilith Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Adama, and thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel. Here at Lilith Astrology, we not only discuss the cosmic power of the stars, but we dive deep into the depths of the dark feminine power of Black Moon Lilith. We discuss tarot, oracle, and we enlighten ourselves on the esoteric power of the natal chart. I am so happy that you stopped by here today because I have a treat for you, especially if you are a lion or lioness ascendant. We are going to talk about Leo rising today. And this is also going to finish off my rising sign series. I've done a video for each of the rising signs over the past few years. And this is the final installment of all 12 signs. So if you want to know about Leo rising, or you have a Leo rising in your life, or you're just curious to understand more about how the lion shows up on the ascendant, this is the video for you. And I also encourage you to check out the other videos that we have on the channel about different rising signs, and you can educate yourself on all 12. So, I also would love to encourage you all to follow me on IG and TikTok as well. Not only am I here on YouTube, but I'm over on the other social media networks. And the content is a little bit different over there, but why not? You'll get a little bit more of me. And I also encourage you to text me. Text Lilith to 877-624-9350, and you will be the first to know about special offers, new announcements, new products. Sometimes I do some intuitive card reads and some horoscopes, and it's always ever changing. It's always ever evolving. So if you want to hear more from me and you want to beat the algorithm and really not miss a beat with everything going on here at Lilith Astrology, definitely text the text tribe, as I call all of them, down below. So, one note I do want to touch upon before I dive into this video, I've seen some comments on my past rising sign videos. I don't dive into the comments too much, but once in a while, I do go. So, I do read some of what you all say. And one of the comments I've been seeing from a few people is my chart isn't laid out like this, or oh, this isn't in my relationship house, this isn't in my career. But I do want to remind you that everything on the internet pertaining to astrology, everything on my channel, everything on other astrologers' channels, when we are educating on astrological placements and planets and points, it is general. So the rising sign is basically the type of analysis that I do is I talk about the way that the houses are laid out. And I do this using whole sign because it's not for a particular person. It's not for a particular chart. So I want you all to keep that in mind, that this is a general analysis of Leo rising. So some things are going to resonate, some things may not resonate, and you may have a different sign on your midheaven. You may have a different IC. You may have a different type of chart, especially if you are using Placidus, which I am actually a big proponent of Placidus when I am analyzing actual specific charts. So I want to remind you all, this is not a one-on-one reading, and so not everything is going to apply directly to your life. So I also invite you, with that said, if you'd like to book a one-on-one reading with me, if the things on my channel resonate with you and you feel called to do so, you can do that at lilithastrology.com. And you can click the link down below in the description box and you can book a one-on-one session with me, and I will actually look at your chart and it will be accurate because you have to have your birth time to find out your rising sign, of course. And we will take a look at how the houses are structured within your chart and a lot more. So I encourage you all to book a one-on-one reading if you want something that is tailored directly to you. But no astrology book that's written for the collective, no article, no video that's created that's written for general purposes of the collective is going to resonate with you 100%. So you guys can't go into situations like this and expect that everything's going to resonate, because it's impossible. So this is the way that I can serve a lot more people. So I just wanted to kind of touch upon that before I get started. And I also want to invite you all to stay towards the end. Don't forget, watch the whole video, because towards the end, I'm going to talk about an amazing piece of content that pertains to this exact topic. All right, so let's get into Leo rising. So first, before I get into the specifics of Leo rising, let's first talk really briefly about the rising sign. It is also called your ascendant. So your ascendant or rising sign is the first angle that begins the 360-degree pie chart that you may have all be used to seeing if you check out your chart online or check out other people's charts. And the rising sign, most specifically, is the zodiac sign that was rising on the eastern horizon the moment that you were born. So this essentially is the reason why you need your birth time to find out your rising sign. And if you don't have that, I've had some clients quite literally investigate at the hospital they were born at, ask their parents, ask their mother, whoever was around at the birth. But definitely you need your rising sign. And, as astrologers, I can rectify charts, and based on certain things that happen in your life, if you know the date and the year and the place that you were born, we can do a little judging and figure out what your rising sign is. But if you want the most accurate, you need to know your birth time. And basically, the rising sign, also called the ascendant, creates the structure of the houses of your chart. So if you're a Leo rising, it starts with the fifth sign of the zodiac, and it continues on through to the end and all through the 12 houses. So this is what dictates how your 12 houses are laid out in your chart. And like I said at the beginning, it also depends on the type of house system that you're using. I'm using for this analysis whole sign because I'm not looking at a specific chart. But if I'm looking at a specific chart, I really love Placidus. And sometimes I do equal sign and combine the two as well for all of you astrology buffs out there. So in a Leo rising chart, you have Leo symbolized by the lion showing up on your ascendant. And the rising sign or ascendant is really how we show up to the world. And it may be why you don't feel like your sun sign if you have a completely different sun sign. Like if you have a Scorpio sun, or you have a Virgo sun and you've got a Leo ascendant, or you've got a Gemini sun and you've got a Leo ascendant. You may not completely feel, depending on how your chart is laid out. Some people quite do, but you may not feel quite like your sun sign because your personality is your ascendant. And it's the most publicly visible part of your life, along with the 10th house, which we're going to get to shortly. And your ascendant is how you show up to people. It's the impression that you leave when they first meet you. So, as a Leo rising, when you walk into a room, you're giving Leo. You're giving the lion, the lioness. You're the center of attention. You are someone who really shines their light without trying into the room. And depending on what planets you have in your first house, some of you may be lucky enough to have the sun in Leo and rising in Leo. You really have more of a external way of being. You are just way more friendly when it comes to entering into social situations. And some of you really steal the show, take attention without even trying. So this is really where Leo shows up for you. And Leo is also ruled by the sun. And the sun it's literally the center of our solar system. It's the center of all things, and it's such an important part of our natal chart. And the sun actually rules over your ascendant. I'm not sure if you all know that, but whatever planet rules over your ascendant is extremely important in your natal chart, and it is your chart ruler. And really understanding the sun in your chart will also give you more of an idea of the lens that you see life through, along with your Leo rising. And at that point, your rising sign is also how we view the world around us. It's how we interact with others. It's our perspective. It also can represent just your early experiences as a child, more like your rising sign when you're a child. And as you move towards adulthood, you become more like your sun, especially after your Saturn return. And basically, it's so true. And so a lot of you, especially if you are over the age of 27, you may feel more like your sun, but that Leo rising spark never leaves you your entire life. And you are the star of the show. So the sun rules over Leo, and Leo ascendants, you all love when you are able to shine brightly. You're able to display your creative talents and your gifts to the world. And you are a charmer as well. Leo, as a zodiac sign, rules over play, self expression, fun, creativity, childhood. And it's really about those things. And these things are extremely prominent in your personality and extremely prominent in your life. And some of you may even be drawn to really wanting to show your gifts and show your talents to the world because of this. So, in terms of first impressions, when you meet a Leo, when it's in your first house, this is really a radiant aura. A lot of you really command attention, as I said, and you really leave a mark on people that you meet. And you tend to show more of your optimistic, sunny disposition as a Leo rising, even if beneath the surface, there are a lot of deep emotions, trauma, challenges. You've got Scorpio in that area of your chart. We're going to get into that shortly. But Leo risings tend to keep they tend to save face when they're around people, even if they're going through some challenging times. That's just your nature. And unless you are Leo rising's best friend or a really close family member, you may not know exactly what is going on with Leo rising because they tend to keep that bright, cheery energy going. So if you have a Leo ascendant and you're a Leo rising, your first house, which is the house of self in astrology, that is where you have Leo. So this is going to show up in your persona and who you are. So moving on to the second house, Leo ascendants, you have Virgo. And the second house in astrology rules over your money, your material resources. This is also how you gain the money in your life, the talents that you have in order to create that income. And it can also describe your relationship with money, your value, your self-worth. It also can represent your physicality. And you've got Virgo there. So Virgo is basically it's a earth sign, but it is really all about perfection and precision and detail oriented and practical. So it's a very different vibe than Leo rising, but this is where you have Virgo. So Leo risings actually tend to be very prudent, practical, and really detail oriented when it comes to making your money. So this is something, and it depends on the planets you've got there. I've always got to remind you all that. But you can go through some lessons around that in your life and really learn to kind of release the fear around money. But Virgo is where you can experience your relationship with money. When we move to the third house, you've got Libra. And the third house rules over things like communications, writing, marketing. Siblings is here as well too. And Libra rules over beauty, aesthetics. And Libra is all about justice and balance. So Leo risings, you're great communicators. Some of you might be prolific writers or go into the marketing field. Leo ascendants are fantastic at sales, marketing, and doing things like copywriting. And some of you may work in the beauty industry and marketing. Libra really gives you that natural talent for beauty and for creativity in that area of your life. And some of you may have positive or certain sibling relationships. Maybe you're closer with some than others, but that can be a powerful place for you. And in terms of your communication and how you articulate yourself to others, you have more of a balanced, fair, harmonious approach versus being combative or argumentative. And your talent comes through in your communication. So, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, you've got in your fourth house Scorpio. And this is the area of home, family. This is also your emotions and your emotional world, how you feel. And it's the connection you have to your lineage. It also can represent the parents. Some astrologers say the mother, some say the father. It really depends on your specific natal chart. But this is that part of your life. And Scorpio brings a lot of transformation. It can bring intense emotions. It can also bring some traumatic events that may have happened to you that you may have buried deep beneath the surface, deep underneath that sunny exterior, especially if you are a millennial, because you've got Pluto in Scorpio. That's an outer planet that us millennials all share somewhere within our chart. And you also, as a result of having Scorpio, there are deeply protective, loyal, and really go through a lot of change in your family life, in your home life. You may experience some death or rebirth in that area of your life. And this could have been in early childhood as well. So, another thing too is Leo ascendants may move a lot. You may go through a lot of change and transformation in where your home is and what it looks like and how you want to live. And I think you become more and more comfortable with that as you get older. But sometimes when you have Scorpio in that area of your life, your foundation can be a bit rocky. And as a result, you have to go through some emotional healing and transition when you become an adult. So, moving on with a quick promo break, actually, I wanted you all to definitely be aware that my readings are now open and you can book me on lilithastrology.com. I just opened up a 15-minute option if you have a quick question or you need help choosing a date or you need a follow-up on a recent reading that you received from me. And I offer 15, 30, 45-minute, and 60-minute readings at lilithastrology.com. And you can also check that out down in the description box below. And I really want to encourage you all to check out my Black Moon Lilith Rising book and Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle cards that are now for sale. This is wherever books are sold, but you can check out the link below or just head to lilithastrology.com. And I have a list of all the retailers that you can purchase the book at. And it's for sale all over the world. So definitely check that out. You can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all types of bookstores, independent bookstores. So those are all listed on the website. And I also still have my free gift with purchase, only available on lilithastrology.com. So you purchase the book and the deck and you come on back and enter your information in, and you can gain access to a free workshop called Self-Empowerment Lilith. And it is so, so impactful, and it really will enhance your experience in reading the book and deck. And I also want to warn you, I want to give a little trigger warning that, it's not the most emotionally easy book to read sometimes. I know I've already triggered some folks. Yes, I read the comments a little bit. And I just want you all to know that. I mean, how can you write a book on oppression? the goddess of defiance and independence and defying the patriarchy and not include some triggering topics. Am I right? But it's coming from a space of really helping you all transcend certain shadows and using those triggers to transmute them into light. So I encourage you to check out those two projects down below. They came from my heart, they came from my soul, and I thank you all. Now let's get back to Leo rising. All right, so moving on to your fifth house. you've got Sagittarius. And this is what makes Leo ascendants super fun. You all are a blast. When you have Sagittarius in the 5th house of pleasure, romance, sexual activity, play, fun, self-expression, it is a blast. Sagittarius is all about expansion and freedom, optimism. And I think a lot of you really find growth and luck and fulfillment when you are being creative. And this is what gives Leo ascendants that creative edge. So when you are really feeding your inner creativity, whether that be singing, dancing, cooking, writing, acting, whatever you want to create, this is the reason why. And another thing too as well is Leo ascendants can be great teachers. Sagittarius is not only about growth and expansion and, partying, but Sagittarius is also about learning and teaching and philosophy and spirituality. So a lot of you can really find some solace in teaching others spiritual topics that interest you, or just quite literally teaching children or becoming a professor. That can really feed your soul as well too. And another thing about the 5th house as well, speculative investments and gambling is also here. And since Sag is such a lucky sign, some Leo risings can have some luck in investing in homes, investing in real estate, stocks, whatever you feel makes sense for you. I'm not a financial advisor, but a lot of you can have some luck and also feel driven to want to really invest in things that might seem risky to other people that will pay off in the end. Even entrepreneurship, starting your own company, that can really interest Leo ascendants as well. So moving on to the 6th house, we've got Capricorn. And the 6th house is all about health, routine, wellness. It also is about servitude, work, and it can also represent like the people that work for you as well. So Capricorn being here, you Leo risings, I know y'all are like, okay, we're fun, like we love to have fun, all that stuff, have a ball, but we know how to get down to work. And when you got Capricorn in the 6th house, you all have a very fierce work ethic. And you really love to bring structure to the workplace you're in. If you have people that you're managing, this is 6th house, people that are serving you or supporting you or helping you. You really love to create structure. Sometimes you can be a bit stern with the people who work for you, but this is all in the interest of elevating the company, elevating yourself, elevating the people who are working for you, and being a true leader. And really also health. Some of you could go through some lessons around health and your wellness. Some of you could really want to change this, especially as you get older. Maybe you might have overindulged or not have taken as much care of yourself in your youth. And as you get older, Capricorn is it's a zodiac sign that matures with age. You start to take your health a little bit more seriously. And I think in terms of like working out, if that's something that you want to do, moving your body or taking care of your physical form, a lot of you really need routine. You need a structure. You need something that you can do every single week and at a certain time, at a certain day. So having Capricorn there, your work day, your routine needs to have some structure, or else you can feel a bit stressed. And you can also learn some lessons around hiring people and staff or in your workplace. So if you don't get along with some people in your workplace or who work for you, or you don't feel like you can trust them, that's something to listen to, because with Capricorn in that area of your chart, you can go through some power struggles, some harsh lessons around the workplace and around relationships at work. So moving on to the 7th house, which in astrology is also your descendant. So your descendant, opposite from the ascendant, you see the pattern there? Your descendant is relationships. This is the other. So if your ascendant or your 1st house is you, your descendant, which begins the 7th house, is other. So it can describe marriage partner, serious relationships, contracts, business collaborations. It's serious bonds that you have with other people. And you've got Aquarius there. And Aquarius is, it's all about, it's the audience, right? It's the collective. It is more of a detached air sign. And so since you're the star of the show, Leo, you like and you attract people who will be a willing audience to your glory and splendor. And people who have Aquarius energy can really resonate with you. Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Jupiter, Mars, Venus. And you really love people who can stimulate you intellectually. You love people who really gas you up and really want to see you perform and don't want to be the center of attention. They'll allow you to have that spotlight and that shine. And since Saturn is the ruler of your 7th house, Saturn is the ancient ruler of Aquarius, you can go through some delay when it comes to finding that special partner or marriage. And sometimes after your Saturn return, that is really, and that's ages 27 to 30 around. So after age 30, that's when you can really settle down and really find out who aligns with you and bring in that significant other or that counterpart that you've been hoping for and wanting. So moving on to your 8th house, Leo, you've got Pisces. And the 8th house rules over things that are hidden, taboo. It is all about death, the occult. I know, sounds super sunny and rosy. Like, not everything in life is, right, Leo? You know that. And this rule also rules over things like inheritances, loans, other people's money. This is the other money house. It's in opposition to the 2nd house. And that's where you had Virgo. And this is other people's money. So it's the money that you gain through a marriage partner, shared resources. It's the money you can gain from an inheritance. It's debts, it's loans, it's money you get for a mortgage or for an investment, or if some investors give you money to start a company. And when you have Pisces here, this is the energy of really taking the time to look at the truth of situations. Sometimes with Pisces, as a zodiac sign in this area of your chart, you can feel like there's some loss in that area of your life, or you may have thought something was true and it turned out that it wasn't. So I'm not saying that, a marriage partner is going to fraud you or anything like that, because Pisces is the zodiac sign that represents illusion and fraud. But it's important to be careful of those things when it comes to that part of your life, because you've got Pisces here. And sometimes you can look at people with rose-colored glasses. This also represents really taking a look at the structure. If you do take on loans, if you do take on debt, some of you may find that that's a challenging part of your life. And the 8th house rules over things like tarot, astrology, witchcraft, the occult. And you can have a serious interest in those sides of life, especially if you have planets in the 8th house as well. Pisces is not only about illusion and fraud, but it's also about, and I'm not saying Pisces signs are frauders or anything, so don't come at me with that. This is just the description of the things that Pisces rules over. But Pisces is also about creativity. It's also about the other realms, spirituality, and artistry. So a lot of you may obtain money or receive investment in your creative ideas or your spiritual ideas. Some of you may quite literally be a spiritual guru, or you may write esoteric topics and get paid for it as well. But you can monetize spirituality or your creativity as well and receive finances for it. Some of you may also deal with some loss as well, which can be challenging because you've got Pisces in your 8th house. Also, that Scorpio in the 4th house, we touched upon that as well. These are the water houses, and they can sometimes deal with just experiencing loss in your life. So that can be something that's jarring and challenging for Leo ascendants. Now let's move on to the 10th house. We've got Taurus. And the 10th house is also associated with the midheaven. Sometimes, as I said, it depends on the house system you're using, how the chart's laid out. Sometimes the midheaven is in a different sign, but for these purposes, we're going to say Taurus is there. And the 10th house, also associated with the midheaven, has to do with your career, your professional life, how you show up to the public. And it also can represent the maternal energy in your life or paternal, depending on how you'd like to analyze it. And in this area of life, you got Taurus. So Taurus is all about abundance, and it's all about beauty and the earth, sustainability, and value, self-worth. And so some of you may stand on those types of platforms when it comes to your career. Like I said, Leo risings are very creative. And it doesn't mean just painting or music. Creativity can span a lot of different things. We are always creating. But with Taurus in that area of your chart, right, quite literally, a lot of you are great at crafts or creating foods or creating sensual experiences for people, fragrances, beauty industry is another place where I see a lot of Leo risings. I used to work in it and ask colleagues their chart, and a lot of time there'd be some Libra, but Leo placements, Leo ascendant was very prominent because you got Taurus in that area of your life. Marilyn Monroe was a famous Leo ascendant, and quite literally she showed up to the public as a Taurus goddess, and literally that is a quintessential Leo ascendant career, is channeling beauty and bringing that to the world. Because Taurus has to do with things, not only beauty, but sustainability, nature, the earth. It also has food as well. Some people can be chefs and create amazing and style awesome dishes. There's a lot that can be done with that, but you've got Taurus in that area of your life. So it's your path to bring beauty to the world through your profession, however it resonates for you to do so. Then let's move on to the 11th house. And this has to do with things like rewards, the future vision. This also has to do with friends, like acquaintances, large groups, society, things like the internet. And you've got Gemini there. So Leo ascendants, you are quite literally the perfect influencer. I don't want to say all of you are going to be influencers, but when you got Gemini in the 11th house, you can influence a lot of people. Leo ascendants tend to have a lot of friends. They can make connections easily. They love small talk, depending on your sun sign and moon. But in general, they love small talk. They really love to connect and have conversations with large people, public speaking. And a lot of you can gain rewards through doing those things. The 11th house is really how the cosmos rewards us for our hard work. It's a benefic house. And when you've got Gemini there, it's really all about putting your feelers out there and connecting. Your network can really support you in what you want to do. But this is really a house where it's all about connecting with as many people as possible that are going to help you on your path and on your way. And now moving to the final house, the end of the road, Leo, we've got Cancer in your 12th house. And the 12th house, it's a very ominous house. It also rules over things hidden, unseen, suppressed. It rules over the subconscious. It can also, when you have placements and planets there, a lot of people can be channelers, mediums, if you've got some heavy placements there in Cancer. But Cancer is all about emotional leadership, your intuition, the mother, the home. And also the 12th house is about the ancestral trauma and baggage we bring in with us in this life. So Leo ascendants can really feel like they are transmuting and transforming some of the challenges that their family line has faced, some ancestral trauma. Some of you may also, even though a lot of you may feel extremely deep and feel deeply, especially with Scorpio in the 4th house, having Cancer here this is like a shadow for you to really own your emotions and display them and be vulnerable. Because, like I said, with Leo ascendants, you all have a tendency to kind of douse out that what you may be feeling with the sunshine and not really let people in on it. And that can be, it can be really challenging to deal with certain things alone or not feel like you can be open and honest and transparent. And Cancer, as a zodiac sign, has no problem in doing that. So that's something that can feel uncomfortable for you, is that emotion and that intensity of it. And also, there can be some challenges with the mother or maternal energy, or even with the family, and just some knots to untie in that area of your life. And some of you also may need some time away to really, whether it's hermitude or really seeking solace. While you may be extroverted and out there, at times you've got to reel it in and bring it home so that you can restore your emotions and your emotional self. So that is you, my Leo ascendant. And as promised, I want to invite all of you to check out some amazing content that I've recently done. And I'm actually going to pop it on the screen for all of you because I can do that. So, I just wrote not too long ago an amazing article on Elle.com called Shining a Light on Leo Risings, the Regal and Radiant Ascendant. And, I talk about some of the things that I mentioned in this broadcast, but this will also give you a nice overview of being a Leo rising. And I encourage all of you to go check that out. That is down in the description box below. And I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.